Yo, what's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. While you're here, smash those likes, hit that follow button. It's a free and great way to support the channel. But one of China's largest institutions when it comes to digital assets and assets just in general has elected to apply for a Bitcoin spot ETF weeks after 10 financial institutions here in the US got their Bitcoin spot ETFs approved. Now, the sentiment behind Bitcoin is like no other right now. Bitcoin is the household name, and today is the day when Google allows advertisements pertaining to Bitcoin and crypto to be fully functional when it comes to ETFs. The sentiment behind Bitcoin right now is no other. Bitcoin right now is the name of the game, right? Of course, there's other digital assets out there that will be coming up here shortly, but right now, Bitcoin is having its day. The article says Harvest Hong Kong, one of China's largest fund managers, submit for a spot Bitcoin ETF application to the Hong Kong SFC on January 26th. The report added that the regulatory body is actively working to expedite the process for approval of ETFs in the country to launch the first Hong Kong spot Bitcoin ETF after the Chinese New Year on February 10th. So yeah, thought this was very interesting because if a Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved, that actually lets us know that China is indeed going to be involved in Bitcoin, right? There was that time where every single time, like that one day China was hot, one day China was cold when it comes to Bitcoin. Like they kept saying that it was a scam, but it probably was all because they were accumulating to get ready for a Bitcoin spot ETF. Like every single day there was news coming out in the headlines that said Bitcoin was a scam, Bitcoin was a fraud. We are not allowing our customers to indulge in buying Bitcoin. So then the following week, they didn't came back and said, well, no, we're going to allow Bitcoin trading to happen. But then they came back 2 months later and said, nope, we're banning it. Nobody can have Bitcoin. But now they are creating a Bitcoin spot ETF for everyone. You have to know what you hold because at the end of the day, they were trying to get us to sell. Who do you think is buying it? Who do you think is buying Bitcoin when you sell? It's large institutions like this. And when this happens, that means we have the US exchange, Fidelity, Bitwise, BlackRock, all these other institutions going back and forth for Bitcoin spot ETFs. Trading volume daily has increased. But then when that market closes, then you have the Hong Kong market or the Chinese market that kicks into effect, right? Like this season for Bitcoin is going to be like a season that we've never seen. It could be for the good, it could be for the bad, but whatever it is, this is going to be a season to remember. Moving on. Raj says, this is a very interesting tweet that I actually like. If you own one Bitcoin, you own 0.000000. Man, that's a lot of zeros. A lot of zeros for 76% of the total supply that will ever be created. Now he says that may seem small, but compared to today's valuation of all assets around the world being $900 trillion, owning one Bitcoin is equivalent to owning $43 million worth of assets. That is huge, right? Because you have to remember the inflation rate is already bad, even though some could say it's slow, outdated. Then you have the Lightning Network that's far more superior, I guess you could sort of say, than any of the other banking institutions. Folks, why do you believe that people are picking up this so quick? Why do you believe that people are picking up Bitcoin right now? Because it is the household name. It's been around since 2009. There's other ETFs that's going to be created. But like I said, right now, they're relying solely on Bitcoin. Now, speaking of the Bitcoin halving, we do see and we do know by Bitcoin Magazine, this chart was created. I thought this was also interesting. The Bitcoin halving is now less than 3 months away. New all-time high incoming. As you can see, November 29th, 2012, it was $12. Man, do you know how many lives would have changed if everybody would have got into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $12? So many lives would be changed. But then again, then you have to think about the Mt. Gox issue, right? Where the only place you can get it at that time was Mt. Gox, or you would have to go to a person and say, hey, do you have Bitcoin? Can I buy it from you? And it would seem kind of sketchy, right? So, that was back during the Mt. Gox days. And unfortunately, Mt. Gox got hacked. And now the Mt. Gox repayments loom because they could also cause a downfall, a downturn in Bitcoin's price. And at the same time, you have the US putting everybody on notice saying they're going to sell over $130 million worth of Bitcoin as well. So that could potentially tank the market. But then you have good news coming out for Hong Kong's largest financial fund or institution management coming out saying that they want to do a Bitcoin spot ETF. And I believe they hold trillions of dollars worth, right? It's China's largest asset firm, right? But then you have in the halving of July 9th, 2016, it was $675. The third halving, which, dang, has it really been 3 halvings already? Dang. Then it was $9,760 on June the 11th, 2020. And then the new expedited time for the Bitcoin halving part 4 is April the 20th. I kid you not, April 20th. That's absolutely funny. And one of the things that I was just thinking about, has anybody noticed that the halvings are set and created right before election or during the year of presidential elections? Has anybody noticed that? Because I find it very interesting. If not, please do your research on it because I think that is very neat. Bitcoin was $70,000 at a $1.2 trillion market cap. And if $10 trillion actually go into that and it's not manipulated, but we know Bitcoin is going to be manipulated because you can manipulate gold, you can manipulate cash, you can manipulate any other assets, right? So why can't Bitcoin be manipulated? But if 10 trillion goes into the Bitcoin market and Bitcoin was at 70K at a $1.2 trillion market cap, that would actually put Bitcoin at 600K, between 600 and 700K per Bitcoin. And going back to what Raj was saying, just owning one Bitcoin is equivalent to owning $43 million worth of assets. Think about it. That's insane. Moving on. There has been a lot of news lately about a Ethereum based spot ETF. And it makes sense, right? Because Ethereum is the leader in applications on their blockchain because Ethereum is the most used blockchain out there. So it would make sense for an Ethereum ETF to be next. Do I think an ETH? Excuse me, I cannot talk. Do I think an Ethereum based spot Bitcoin ETH? Y'all, I don't know what today is, y'all. Do I think an Ethereum spot ETF will be created this year? I don't know. It's possible. But one analyst believes that there's a 60% chance of a spot Ethereum ETF approval in May. It makes sense because now that we are seeing a Bitcoin spot ETF be created, they're making room for ETH. I've always said that all you have to do is take off the name of Bitcoin and put another name of a digital asset, and who's going to custody the new digital asset for the new spot ETF, and that's all you need, right? But we will see. It's going to take some time because the SEC keeps delaying those decisions. They just recently delayed Grayscale's ETF where they wanted to convert ETH futures cash settles to the actual ETH spot ETF, as well as I think BlackRock's as well. So it's pretty much the same firms that created and that got their Bitcoin spot ETF approved. Now they are on the verge of getting an Ethereum ETF approved, right? It's happening. It's happening. And this analyst believes that it's going to happen by May, and if not, early 2025. All right, y'all, that'll do it for me. If you made it this far, please make sure you hit the like and the follow button and click that notification bell so you'll be notified any and every time I post another video. Looks like the Bitcoin market is at 42,360. Ethereum is at 2,268. BNB at 308. XRP at 52 cents. Dogecoin 8 cents. Polkadot at $6.85. Matic 78 cents. All right, y'all, that'll do it for me. Looks like the market is trying to pick back up. Multiple Bitcoin spot ETFs are going to continue to happen, right? Multiple. We got 10 Bitcoin spot ETFs that got approved. And now, all the way on the other side of the world, we're about to get a Bitcoin spot ETF over there. So when the market closes in the US and then the market opens up over there in China, that will really make Bitcoin 24 hours. That will really make Bitcoin 24 hours professionally in Wall Street. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's really crazy to me. But all right, y'all, that'll do it for me. Please make sure you hit the like and the follow button and click that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post another video. I appreciate you all, and I will see you and everybody else on the next one. Peace.